Hey guys, it's your boy Doomy back again with another video. And in today's video, guys, I wanted to basically continue on the video that I made about time, right? Just wanted to put the final nail in the coffin just to help you understand how, maybe time has a direct correlation with understanding consciousness and separating yourself from the ego, right? Those are the hardy dogs, the most annoying bird in South Africa. But let's just give them their time because obviously they want to be on the video. So anyways, like I was saying, I wanted to prove, with this video, obviously there's not going to be any visuals. So you're just going to have to listen to the words and then go and do your own research. Like, if you want knowledge and if you want to gain understanding, you cannot just be spoon-fed information. You have to go and look for the information yourself. Sure, it'd be nice to have a video where there's, pictures and stuff, where you can see, some examples of what I'm trying to say to you. But if you're listening to the video, you can pause through the video and keep going to look for this information wherever you might want to go look for it. I don't want to use specific search engines and say the words of these search engines, but bro, it is what it is. If you're looking for, information, go out and look for information yourself. But without further ado, so time being this illusion, being a concept of this machine, which is the Matrix, is something that is, like I said, designed to make us feel a certain way, more specifically as if we are behind in life. Because what happens with time is that you need to schedule your life in order to do certain things. You need to be in certain places at certain times. By a certain age, you need to have this and that. You should be married by 22. You should be a millionaire by 35. All that type of nonsense, right? Where what happens is people, use the schedule or basically use time in order to schedule their lives, and they become very disappointed when they do not go in correspondence with these time limits or time dates that they've set for themselves, because our lives are not going to be the same. Everyone's life is different, right? We're in different stages of our lives, and your breakthrough is going to come at your time. It's not going to come at the same time as someone else. It's your time. You on your own clock, right? So anyways, this illusion of time to control our perception, right, to make us do things a certain way, right, more specifically, to fit yourself into the working hours or the learning hours, right, because school prepares you to work. Working is what powers the machine, right? We need people to have jobs. We need people to work, to produce, right, to supply to the consumer, because so many of us are consumers. We like to buy shit that we don't need, but I digress. Time only exists in one place, ladies and gents. Time exists in the mind, and the mind only. The crazy thing about time is that they want you to think in this term, right, that there's a past, there's a future, and there's a present. Right? But the mind can never be in the present. The mind is always either in the past or in the future. In the past, there's anger, shame. In the future, there's anxiety, and whatever emotions may come from thinking into the future. But the mind being incapable of being in the present, right? Because let's get this straight. Because of the mind being unable to be in the present, and the mind taking you to the past or the future, and from these thoughts arising from you venturing between future and past, different emotions come about. These different emotions that come about change how you feel about yourself. And by changing how you feel about yourself, they also change how you move forward in life, the decisions that you're more likely to make. Listen, you might want to go and approach a goal, right? And you think about a past experience where you approached a woman and she curved you so embarrassingly that when you see this opportunity or this opportunity arises, you no longer want to approach because you have that memory, right? Or, you could be bungee jumping for the first time and you are thinking about all the outcomes that might happen. Maybe the rope snaps, or maybe something wrong happens where you don't make it, right? And now you're in fear of, jumping, because maybe you also saw a video that had someone whose bungee cord snapped or something and they died. So now that's in your mind, and it creates this anxiety, right? And now you unable to do this without having the fear. Now, if you are in the present, right, and you are operating not from the ego, not from the mind, and you're operating from awareness, pure consciousness, right, which is you being in the present moment, every second, every minute, every hour, every day. If you are able to do that, you're no longer using the past as a reference to what's happening now, because the past has already happened. You're no longer using the past maybe to gauge what might happen in the future, because you're no longer functioning on those scales, right? Because time doesn't exist. And if time doesn't exist, there's no future, there's no past. All that there is the present moment. Actually, that's how I should have led at the beginning of the video. But understanding this, that there's no past and future, and the past or the future only exists in the mind, you're able to move forward in life without creating any barriers for yourself, right? Without caging yourself and keeping yourself locked in any prisons, right? Or psychological prisons. Being in the prisons gives you the freedom to not guess what might happen, because there's no need to guess. You're only thinking about what's happening. You're only reacting to what's happening because you're constantly here. You're in the present moment. You're not in your mind, right? You're right here. If there's no past and there's no future, right? And there's only the present moment, then it is clearer for you to think. It's easier for you to think. It's easier to do things. It's easier to move forward. It's easier for you to make the right decisions, because now you're no longer making decisions based off the mind or based off, past experiences, right? By constantly making decisions through what's happening in the mind, you're going to constantly make the same decision over and over again, which constantly leads you to being in the same cycle over and over again, because you're continually making the same decisions, when in fact you should remove yourself from the mind and into the present and start making decisions on what is happening right now, what you can see right now. Right? What you can feel right now, what you can sense is the word I'm looking for, through your intuition, right? Which is connected to the being, to what you actually are, right? We are not the avatar. You are not the body, you're not the mind, you're not thoughts that arise from the mind, right? You are consciousness, you are awareness, right? If this was a video game simulation, you would be the one holding the controller, and the vessel would be the character, the avatar in the game that you would be controlling. Yes, this avatar has emotions, right? Yes, this avatar has thoughts, but you are not those thoughts. You are not this avatar. You are not anything that has ever happened to this avatar, right? All you are is the conscious awareness that is constantly present, watching over this vessel. You are holding the controller. You don't feel anything for the character in the game when you playing, right? But because you have identified yourself with this avatar and you think you are the avatar, that is why you feel a certain way, right? The proof of this is people who absolutely have no fear. And at one time in your life, when you were very young, a child most probably, you weren't scared of jack shit. I think of myself when I was a kid, I was fearless. But as you grew older and you were conditioned, and the storyline was built up of who you are, what you're afraid of, I have anxiety, I have this, you conditioned yourself and you started to identify with these labels, and you thought that you were these labels. You are not these labels, because if you're not the mind, if you're not the ego, if you're not the body, then you can't be anything that is associated with this vessel. The vessel is not who you are. Consciousness is who you are, right? You are the player on the person holding the remote control, for lack of a better term. So I digress quite a bit. I tend to do that. Getting back to the video. If time does not exist, there's no past, there's no future. That means the only place the past and the future lives is in the mind. And once you understand that, then life becomes a whole lot easier. I hope this video makes sense. You know, I've been fasted for a while now. I just finished doing my cardio, right? Fasted cardio. And now it's time to go and eat. Enjoy your day. Peace. Go Booker!